Today we are going to continue with our review of factoring in preparation for your test, but also we're going to look at how we go backwards from solutions to factored form. All right, so first let's just practice a little factoring. I want you to notice that we just have a 1 in front of our x squared, so we can go straight to our box problem. We are multiplying to 6 and adding to 5, and those numbers would be a 3 and a 2. So make sure you actually write your factored form here, okay? We can't go straight to our solutions. We want to see the x plus 3, x plus 2, and then your teacher may be picky or not picky about how you show your solutions, but because we are solving, we are setting each piece equal to 0, and we will subtract 3 on both sides, and subtract 2 on both sides. And again, depending on who your teacher is, they may be pickier about how much of this work you show, so it's just really going to depend on your teacher. All right, let's try the next one. This one, we have a number in front of our x squared. This is our greatest common factor. It does divide evenly from all 3 terms. That means we are not yet ready to do our box problem. We are going to have to divide that 2 out from each term. All right, so take out our 2. And take out our 2. Don't forget that equals 0. And now we're going ahead and we are going to factor with these numbers. Multiplies to negative 20, adds to 10. And that will be a 10 and a 2, with our 2 being the negative. Make sure you still have that 2. And your equals 0. And then again, we are going to go ahead and solve. We do not do anything with this 2 out front. Remember that 2 doesn't have anything to do with our solutions. It's actually going to affect the shape of our graph, which we'll talk about more in our next unit. But I mean, there's no x with it, so it doesn't help us with our solving. That's all you need to know about it for now. So we'll have x equals negative 10. And x equals 2. All right, so now we're going to start going backwards. If your solutions were 10 and negative 4, what would our factored form look like? So what you have probably noticed over the course of these several weeks is that when we factor, our solutions are always the opposites. So if your solution was an x equals 10, that means originally you had an x minus 10 in your parentheses. And if your solution is x equals negative 4, we would have an x plus 4. Now, how would you go ahead and get this back into standard form? Okay, think about it for a minute. It's something that we started the unit with, and that is FOIL, or multiplying. All right, so we're going to do first, x times x is x squared, outer, plus 4x, inner, and last. All right, and it's possible that you were also shown a method like this to multiply. This would give you the same answer, okay? X minus 10 and x plus 4. You could multiply like this. Notice you're getting all of the same terms that I had here, and then you would combine your like terms like so. Okay, either way, you're going to end up with this answer. X squared minus 6x minus 40 equals 0. All right, make sure you have that equals 0 since it was ultimately solved. And now if you tried to go backwards and find the numbers that multiply to negative 40 and add to negative 6, those would be that negative 10 and that 4. All right, so now we're going to just try this again, but we're going to leave our answer in factored form. Okay, so we will not FOIL it out. We will still need to have the equals 0 though. Okay, so the first 2 are pretty self-explanatory because you have a solution of negative 12. We're going to start with an x plus 12. And a negative 9, we'll have an x plus 9 equals 0, and then that's it. Okay, this is factored form. This is all we're going to have to do. Same thing for number 4. Okay, again, your factored form are the opposites of your solutions. Just don't forget that equals 0. Now, when you get to fractions, this is a little trickier. Okay, let's go ahead, let's fill in the one for our 3 first. We know that would be an x minus 3. Okay, so let's think about how we would get an answer of 5/8. Okay, if your answer is 5/8, notice you're dividing by 8 here. So dividing by 8, when we solve, we undo our equation. So if we're dividing by 8 in our answer, that means originally we were multiplying by 8. And likewise, our 5 on top is a positive, which means originally it would be a negative. All right, and then let's just try it. You would set it equal to 0. We would add our 5 over and divide by 8. And look at that, 5/8. All right, let's try it again. This next one has 3 solutions, okay, which means we are going to have 3 different things multiplying together. Remember, when your x is 0, the easiest thing would just put an x out front. If you want to put an x plus 0 or an x minus 0, you could, but normally we don't see it written like that notation-wise. We just have this x in front. Your x equals 10. This is just a standard integer. Okay, again, we're going to have opposites. And this x equals -2/3. Think about what we did here. Originally, right here, we're dividing by 3. So originally, we must have been multiplying. My 2 is a negative. So originally, it must have been a positive. And then you can go ahead and try to solve that. Make sure you get the -2/3. But this is correct. Okay. All right, we have 2 more. And this time, we're going to put our answer in standard form. That means we will FOIL or multiply this out. All right, so what I want you to do is pause the video for a second. I want you to try to write this in factored form first, okay, like we did up here, and then we'll review how to FOIL it again. All right, go ahead, pause the video, give it a try yourself. All right, welcome back. So go ahead, check your signs. You should have an 8 as a negative because it's the opposite of +8, and a +4, which is the opposite of -4. Did you remember to put your equal 0? If you didn't, go ahead, write that down. And now we can go ahead and FOIL this or multiply it any way that you have been taught. X squared plus 4x minus 8x. And remember, this is multiplying. For whatever reason, people want to always add these last ones. -8 times 4 is -32. Don't forget your equal 0. And combine like terms. 4x minus 8x is -4x. Okay, and there you go. That would be what you had started with. All right, one more. Both a +5 and a +10, that means we know these were both going to be negatives to start with. Don't forget your equal 0. I'm going to use the box method this time to multiply. You can feel free to FOIL if you would like, and then we'll check our answers together. X times x is x squared. X times -5 is -5x. -10 times x is -10x. And -10 times -5, careful, that is a +50. Remember, you are combining your like terms, so that means we are adding. -10 plus -5 is -15. All right, and there you go. That is your standard form. All right, that's it, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Bye.